Bess here with a quick tutorial for you today. I am going to show you how to turn a sleeve. So this is a sleeve for a notebook where you slide the notebook on the front and the back and you cover it. Turning this into a traveler's notebook style sleeve. So all I did was I created an insert to slide into the front and back portion of this sleeve, and I did it with some hard plastic that I got at the dollar store. Just slide that in there, and look, now it's a TN. Right before your eyes, I have converted a sleeve into a TN, and it's super easy. It took me 5 minutes this morning, and I wanted to show you how to do it yourself. So without any further ado, let me get started. I have currently, this is a Hobonichi Weeks size sleeve from Imperfectly Perfect. It's gorgeous, but I don't have a Hobonichi Weeks, so that's why I needed to create something to put my inserts onto. So to start, head to the dollar store, get yourself some hard plastic. What kind of hard plastics? Well, you can do a number of different things. You can raid their placemat settings. These are just like nice plastic placemats that you can definitely cut and punch into. They come in lots of different colors and sizes. You can get yourself one of those, or you can use what I had on hand, which is this chopping mat, and they come in a 2-pack. So you can get these, you can, they're really affordable in that way. It's just a frosted plastic. It's a really nice, thick weighted plastic. And again, you just get either of these, you would find them in like the kitchen aisle of the dollar store. So you'll need those. You will also need some sort of hole punching device. I personally like, this is the We Are Memory Keepers grommet tool. It's got this piece up here is for installing grommets, but to install a grommet you need to have a hole. So it also has 2 really awesome hole punches, one here and one here, and they're just 2 different sizes. That's why there's the 2 options. And so I use these a lot when I make my paper TNs, and this is kind of going on that same idea of a paper TN, except I've done it with plastic. So get yourself some sort of hole punching device. It doesn't have to be as industrial as this one. A hole punch would work. Even a pair of scissors just to poke the holes is just fine. Put that there. You're also going to need some elastic. Obviously, you can't make a TN holder without the elastic. So get yourself some elastic. And then last but not least, a ruler on hand is always helpful. And I'm going to talk to you in measurements of centimeters because that's my preferred unit. But, use whatever you're comfortable with. So to start, basically what you want to do is first you're going to cut your plastic to size. How did I cut my plastic to size? Well, you start with this big old piece, and I basically just cut a square piece of plastic that I knew was going to be larger than what I could fit for this setup. And from there, I tried to put it into the sleeve, and then I trimmed it down some. And I trimmed down in very small increments. So I'm talking about cutting off 1 centimeter to 1/2 centimeter at a time. So slide it in, see how much you need to chop off to get it to fit in that top portion, and don't go any shorter than you need to, because you want it to be really nice and tight when it sits in there, because if it's not tight, it's going to flop around. So get it so that it's the exact right height, give it a nice chop, and I have a guillotine cutter which makes this super easy, but if you don't have one of those, you could totally just do it with a ruler and some scissors. But get it so that it's nice and tight so that it's not gonna move up or down in that sleeve side one. And then to figure out how short to cut it so that it fits into sleeve side 2, lay it down flat, cut it so that it is exactly flush, see how it fits in there, and then again, trim as needed. So for me, for this one to fit really nice and tight, I had to cut about 1 centimeter away from the actual edge of the sleeve. But once I got that measurements figured out, and like I said, it's just trial and error, okay? Just small cuts every time. It fit in there nice and tight, and that's going to keep it from sliding around and wiggling. Okay, the next step after that is to add your elastics, and to do that is very simple. All you want to do is take your plastic out and fold it in half. Okay, fold it in half, get it nice and tight in your hands, kind of give it like a little bit of a crease so you can see what your true middle is. And you'll see here, I screwed up. Okay, I did the wrong middle point to start and then I fixed it. Okay, find your middle point. You could also measure this out if you wanted to. I mean, we do have a ruler here, so you could measure it if you want. Okay, find your true middle, mark it. Go all the way to the top, find your true middle again, mark it. Do it at the bottom too. And then all I do for my holes is I line up true middle with the 1 centimeter. And then I put an additional hole at the 0 centimeter mark and the 2 centimeter mark so that my holes are exactly a centimeter's distance from one another. And that keeps them from being too close. If you were using a bigger hole punch, you might want to space them out a little bit further, but you don't want them too much further than that. Once you've got your holes on the top, you want to repeat the process on the bottom, and then you're just going to thread it with your elastics. There are plenty of tutorials on how to thread it, but it really is pretty straightforward. You just go up and then down and then up, and then you have to go through this middle hole a second time and then this hole a second time as well. Again, there are already TN threading tutorials out there. I'm not going to go in depth on it, but once you get your elastic on there, you want to make it tight enough so that the plastic does curl a smidge. Not so much that it's like this, that would be way too tight, but like, oops, a smidge, just a little bit of a curl there so that you know your elastic's nice and tight. And what's going to happen is when you throw it in your sleeve, it's going to straighten out anyways. So then we just install it into the sleeve here. Install it into the back sleeve. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. You got your TN. That's it. That's it. It was like literally that simple. Once you start adding your notebooks in, you will see that it flattens out real nice and tight. I threw in 4 notebooks in here just for, you know, trial purposes. You might want to do more. You might want to do less. That's what jump bands are for, if you want to do more. But 4 seems pretty good for me because I'm going to be using this mostly for an on-the-go and a wallet. But with the 4 in there, nice and tight, close her up. Let me show you. Look at how beautifully that fits in there. Perfect. So it's like right up against the edge. I'm not doing any like dividers or tabs or anything. Like this is going to be strictly functional for me. So it doesn't bother me that they're up against the edge. If you didn't want them up against the edge, I would recommend sticking to just 2 notebooks because the more you stuff in there, the closer it gets to the edge. But there you have it, my friends. Turning a sleeve into a TN. Super duper easy. And if you did want to use this in conjunction with your Hobonichi Weeks, you could easily just slide the Hobonichi into the front and then slide this booklet behind it still, and then, you know, limit yourself to just 2 books in the back, you know, on the flip side. And then you don't even have to use these 2 elastics, or you could just do a single strap also if you only wanted to add 1 notebook there. But that's it, guys. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I hope it allows you to get a little bit more use out of something that you probably already have. Take care, guys.